Welcome to our posts. Today, we will see stories of r/TrueOffMyChest. I'm being sexually harassed by my stepdaughter. I feel like I'm living with a demon. I've been in a relationship with my wife for 13 years, and her daughter was 3 years old at the time. Everything went really well until she started entering adolescence, and from that point on, she began to be a bit too tactile with me for my liking. She would pretend to kiss me by quickly bringing her mouth close to mine, play footsie with me under the table, ask me to scratch her back, and then asking me to go lower. In short, completely inappropriate behavior. My wife and I have tried everything, including 2 whole years of family therapy, during which she would go as far as to say that she was madly in love with me and wanted to spend the rest of her life by my side. The therapist suspected sexual abuse, but nothing came of it. Later, she got diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. We don't know what to do anymore. I have another little girl who is 6 years old, whom I had with my wife, and I must say that if it weren't for her, I think I would have already left the household. It's becoming unbearable. I've tried yelling, explaining, crying, ignoring. It doesn't work. Sometimes I have to pick her up from school, and all her friends know about it. She tells everyone that she's crazy about me, which leads to extremely unpleasant situations when I meet other parents at school meetings or events. I don't attend them anymore. By the way, 3 days ago, I got violent with her. I slapped her with the back of my hand when she touched my thighs while I was driving. I went nuts, telling her that she was a bad woman, that she was destroying our family, that I wanted to kill her, kill myself. Yeah, I went berserk. She just smiled. Like RLY, it was surreal. I don't know what to do. We still have 1 year left before she's 18, and at that time we could do some legal stuff to make it stop. But I don't even know if my wife would go through that. Sometimes I feel like she just wants me to leave Eddie. My wife is in a deep depression, and so am I. I'm taking anxiolytics, started smoking again, and some days I don't even come home. I go to my brother's place and pretend I had something urgent to do. Everyone knows why, but some days I just can't take it anymore and need some breathing room. Friday, I stayed at home while they went on some family trip, and I checked her laptop because I know she takes photos of me like a paparazzi. Well, there's a whole file with picture of me. I took some photos because I started to gather evidences, and I didn't even have the energy to confront her later that night when they came home. I won't even tell you about her browsing history. I'm losing my mind, and our poor little girl has to live in this nightmare. I'm crying. I want this demon to disappear. I feel like even if she leave the house, my marriage is over. I sometimes feel like my wife think I did something to make this happen. It's killing me. I didn't do crap. She's just nuts. I don't know how this will end, but I don't see any happy ending. If someone here has a bright idea, feel free to tell me because I'm actually losing my mind. Edit. I got an appointment with a lawyer tomorrow morning. I packed a bag for my daughter and I talked to my wife and I said I'm leaving to my brother's house with our daughter. She just went silent, prepared a backpack with snacks for our 6 years old, and she hugged her and said goodbye. I just arrived at my brother's house. I'm honestly a mess. I had my wife on the phone. She was sobbing and couldn't even speak for 10 straight minutes. She said she couldn't make a choice and felt trapped, but knows that we tried everything. She calmed down and talked to our daughter and told her we'll be together soon. I feel like my heart is about to stop, but my brother is the man. He took his daughter's bed out of the attic and made a room for us in like 2 hours. So yeah, I left home tonight and have a meeting with a lawyer tomorrow morning. I took 2 weeks off from work. I don't fully understand my wife's position yet. I don't know if she'll follow me in the legal process of getting that demon out of our life or if she's still under her spell. At this point, I told her I don't care what she does anymore. The most important thing is that our daughter is away from that evil. And oh yeah, I took the laptop. Next story. I think John Oliver paid off my medical debt, and it kills me that I'll never know for sure. It's been almost 10 years, and this still keeps me awake at night. In 2015, I was struggling big time with my mental health. I won't go into details other than to say that one night I decided that my life wasn't important and I tried to end it. My amazing roommate at the time took me to urgent care, where my life was saved. From there, I was sent involuntarily to a behavioral health center. I was super young and vulnerable. I'd just turned 19 and had no idea how to navigate the healthcare system, and I didn't want my parents to know, so I was on my own. The doctors and police who sent me to the facility promised that it took my insurance. In hindsight, I should have checked at the facility, but I didn't know better. Eventually, I did tell my parents. I was released, dropped out of college to heal with my family, and that was when my parents told me that the bill for both my visit and the facility had arrived. This was when I learned that it either didn't take my insurance or covered very little. Because I was so fragile at the time, my parents didn't tell me any details other than that it was a lot. Insurance wasn't covering it, and that they'd handle it. I remember how stressed my mom got every time another bill came in. Every time this happened, I'd think that it would have been better if I just died that day. And then one day my mom comes to me and tells me that my debt was gone. Forgiven. I was blown away. When I asked, she said someone had bought the debt and forgiven it. That was it. No more details. I think there was a name of the company that bought it, but I don't remember it now. Y'all, this blew my mind. It felt like someone had taken this horrible burden that I'd struck my family with and wiped it away. It was like I was being given permission to keep living, like I'd been given a fresh start. The timeline is a bit fuzzy, but a couple of months or so later, John Oliver aired the story about medical debt on Last Week Tonight. If you don't know, he essentially purchased and forgave $15 of medical debt. I wanted to cry. Obviously, I have no idea if it was him or some random stranger. Part of me wants to know, because whoever did that gave me a fresh start. I got my first job, went back to college, and now I'm married and just had my first kid. No matter who did it, I'm forever grateful. They literally changed my life. Edit. Someone pointed out that he bought medical debt that was 7 years without payment. My mom was making payments and the debt wasn't that old, so it wasn't John. Honestly, this doesn't change my feelings on the matter other than a nice bit of closure. Whoever paid my debt may well have saved my life a second time, and I'm forever grateful. Next story. My girlfriend's little sister has a crush on me, and everyone but me thinks it's cute. I'm so tired of this crap, I want to break up with my girlfriend. Me and my girlfriend are in our early 20s, and she has a 14-year-old sister who has a crush on me. She's always trying to find a way to help me out, talk to me, tries to be alone with me, wears her better clothes around me, and has been getting into makeup trying to copy her sister's look. I don't think it's cute the way everyone else does. They laugh and humor her and tease her about her crush on me by saying things like, "I saw girlfriend's boyfriend today," or "Is he your boyfriend?" It's so gross and uncomfortable. The recent times I've tried getting alone time with my girlfriend at her house were interrupted by her sister pounding on her door asking us what we're doing. It just blows my mind how no one thinks that it's weird, and they basically encourage her. She's gotten a slap on the wrist once for trying to unlock her sister's door while we were in there together, but that's it. They all think it's just a funny little crush that'll go away. My girlfriend especially thinks it's so funny because she knows I would never go for a child. No crap, I wouldn't. It doesn't bother her because she's 14. I worry that one day her sister will start spinning fantasies about things we did. I'm in my 20s for F's sake. I can't have a lie ruining my life. I've talked to my girlfriend about her sister's behavior and how serious I am multiple times, but she always blows me off. I really love my girlfriend and we've been together for 2 years now, but I want to call it quits. I really wanted to marry her someday too. No one is taking me seriously, and the last thing I ever need is a child saying I came onto them or something like that. I don't even visit the way I used to anymore just to avoid a 14-year-old. That's depressing. My girlfriend doesn't like to come over to my apartment because I have roommates and her house is way nicer, but I won't go over there anymore because of her sister. Just had to vent. Thanks. Next story. I beat the crap out of my brother and I'm not sorry. Hi, long-time lurker. Created this throwaway for obvious reasons. I am 47, am a widower. Wife passed 4 years ago from a prolonged illness I won't get into except to say it destroyed me. My 2 kids M22, F20 took it as hard and see therapists at least twice a month. I've never gone to therapy because of my parents' mindset that you have to stay strong and don't show your pain. I realize this is unhealthy and have taken up hobbies activities that help me deal with the crushing loss of my wife. I've always tried to be a rock for my kids and most of the time it worked, except when it didn't. I have a younger brother who I will call Sam, fake name, 39 years old. Classical golden child because I was the mistake that resulted in my folks' shotgun wedding while Sam was planned. I had to work for everything while everything was handed to him. I never resented him for this because this dynamic was of my parents' making. I moved away at 20. A few years later I met my wife and we started our family. Then she died. Never found anyone to connect to. Sure, have had the occasional hookup, but nothing romantic. Now, to the story. Sam came over last night, interrupting my game night. Yeah, I'm a D&D nerd, which I didn't mind. What I did mind was him getting into my liquor cabinet and starting in on a bottle of Jack Daniel's Sinatra Select whiskey. My wife found a bottle for me because she knew I loved good whiskey. He drank nearly a third before I found out and berated him for it, telling him to put it back. Effer said, "My wife had good taste. You're lucky I never tasted her when I had the chance." Everyone went silent in shock. I felt myself go numb. Next thing I knew, he was on the floor and I was mercilessly pounding on him. My friends dragged me off. Sam looked like he tried to French kiss a runaway train. Blood everywhere. Broken nose, lost a front tooth. For the first time in my life, Sam looked scared of me. One of my friends took him to the emergency room. The night was over. Thing is, later on the kids came over, they always do on weekends, for dinner and a movie, and found M in the basement bawling my eyes out. I told them so, was having a moment of grief over mom being gone, but I don't think they believed me. We held each other for a while, then watched Princess Bride. I accept what I did was wrong, but I don't care. I'll take what punishment comes if Sam presses charges. I just don't care. I know my parents will be twisted up about this, and so will Sam's wife, but I don't care. The only thing I care about is my kids, and they are moving on with their lives. I get that I'm in butthole, just wanted to vent. Feel free to roast me until I'm well done. Thank you. Next story. I pretend I don't know about my friend's secret group chat where they mock me. I'm Ron 28M and I'm currently living with a roommate, Emma, fake names 27F. She is my younger sister's best friend and I know her since we were kids. Originally my sister was living with us, but she left to study abroad and now she lives there with her fiancé. It's her late aunt's apartment, so she lets me stay there without paying rent, but we share bills and chores. Great deal if you ask me. I never had a problem with me and Emma living together. There were never any romantic feelings both ways. I respected her boyfriends and she respected my girlfriends. I think of her as part of my family, like a sister. 2 months ago, while she was taking a shower, I saw a notification on her phone with my name on it, and I looked at it, and it said, "I found the perfect girl for Ron's prank." I got curious and opened her phone since I know her passcode. There I saw how basically all our mutual friends, except a few I had from my army days and my childhood best friend who lives in another city, were all members of a group chat that started a month ago, and there they were all sharing memes and gifs, mocking me about my appearance, and basically I became equivalent of ugly to them. I couldn't understand why they were so mean, since I genuinely thought we had a good relationship and friendship. As I was scrolling all the way back, I found out that everything started after my roommate told one of her friends that she's so horny she's thinking of effing the old and fat hobo who's sleeping on our rooftop sometimes. Her friend replied that I'm single too and she could EFF me, and my roommate answered that she's not that desperate yet, and they both share laughing emojis and stuff. Then they kept at it by posting puking emojis when they talked how they imagine I had sex. Then other friends started getting into the joke, and soon they created an entire group just so they can share humiliating posts about me. They even started using "I'd rather F the hobo" as an inside joke, which I heard them say a few times but didn't know what it meant until now. I was standing there reading all these comments, feeling numb and not knowing how to react. They also planned to put a prank on me. They would have a really pretty girl flirt with me and ask me out, and when I would go to the date she would stood me up, and they would have a bet of how long would I wait for her. Obviously, since I knew their plans, I rejected the girls' advances to I imagine all of them surprise. Now, I'm not insecure about my appearance. I know I'm not good looking, but I never had trouble finding girls, and despite what they wrote, they didn't make me feel ugly or sorry for myself. I'm just hurt that they would do something like that, since I never did anything to warrant such mockery. Of course, I'm more hurt about Emma, and I'm mostly confused since I know she cares a lot about me. 3 years ago, I had a motorcycle accident, and she practically slept in the hospital for the 10 days I was there, and after we came back home, she helped me all the time until I got better. So I don't know why she would do something so mean towards me. Personally, I think it was just a joke comment that got out of hand. After that, I stopped hanging out with them. I started using work as an excuse, but I limited my interactions with all of them, including Emma. If I knew they'd be at home, I'd stay longer at work or go for a walk until they left, or I'd go out with my other friends. If they suggest a night out, I'd say I was tired from work or sick and wouldn't go. I've cried a few times. I stayed home thinking about the whole situation. Emma asked me the other day if everything is all right, and I told her I had some pressure at work, since I'm aiming for a promotion. That's not a lie, actually. Our company is opening a new branch on another city, and I was originally asked to relocate there, but I declined since I would be all alone and had to start my social circle from zero. But after that, I talked with my boss, and I agreed to relocate once the facilities are ready, which is January 2025 according to schedule. I haven't told anyone about this yet. The reason for this post is that about a week ago, I once again looked at her phone to see if they keep the group chat. There I saw that they kept making fun of me, but some of them pointed out that I stopped interacting with them and wondered if I was alright or something happened to me. One even asked if there's a chance I know about them making fun of me, but they all dismissed that, saying they haven't said anything, and they even dared to say that even if I knew, it's all harmless anyways. Emma told them about my promotion, and that convinced them that I'm just stressed about work, and then they continued mocking me with memes, this time about my job. I don't even know their motives at this point. I don't get it at all. I realized that there's no going back anymore, but I also realized that in the last 2 months, I haven't had any fun. So my plan now is to keep pretending I don't know anything, but start hanging out with them again, because since I won't see them anymore after 5 months, I can at least have some fun. I used to like going out with them, so for the next few months, I can pretend they're still my friends. We actually do plan to go out all together to see a movie and then for some drinks. When time comes and I'm ready to leave, I'll leave without informing anyone, including Emma. Once I'm out and away, I'll block them all besides Emma, since I care about her and want her to know that despite anything, I'm there for her, and if anyone tries to contact me or pretend they care about me leaving, I'll simply send Emma the screenshots of their chat, and I hope this will shut them up. Anyway, sorry for my English. I'm not a native speaker. Thanks if anyone read it. Edit. Wow, I didn't expect all the support and love. Thank you. I realize that it's a situation that most people wouldn't want to be in, so treasure your real friends. I want to clarify some things. As I mentioned in my post, I do have friends outside that group. I have my army brothers that we meet twice a month and message a lot, who I know have my back as I have theirs, and my best friend who lives in another city that will be very close to me after I leave. It's basically an hour driving. We talk daily, and I think he'll be excited once he finds out I'm going to be so close to him. The people in the group chat are mostly our mutual friends since university or past jobs. Not all of them talk bad about me, but they're all members there, so I guess it's the same in a way. They usually hang out at our place where we watch movies, play board games, etc. I feel bad for losing them, but it doesn't compare in the thought of losing my best friend or my army brothers. About my sister. I didn't tell her because then she would tell Emma and then they'd all know, which is what I've been trying to avoid. If I wanted them to know, I'd tell them. I'm not afraid to tell them because I'm desperate for their friendship. No, I don't want to tell them because I don't want the drama. I want to avoid it. I work more now in my job to learn my new role. So the last thing I want is to deal with all that drama of fake apologies, etc. I'd rather be just me pretending I don't know than all of them pretending they're sorry. I understand why some people don't want me to hang out with them and just expose them and everything, but it wouldn't benefit me to do it. All I would gain is drama and awkward situations. I'd rather focus on me, planning my departure, get ready for my new role and figure the aftermath. In the meantime, I don't think it would do me any good to end things with them now. I figure I can't make new friends or seek for a GF in this city since I'm leaving, so I can manage a few months in their company instead of closing to myself. Edit 2. I wasn't expecting so much attention TBH, and it's not something I wanted. I just wanted to vent, get it out of my chest and move on with life. Maybe have a few comforting comments or even someone point out my faults. But it's been only a day and I see there's too much traffic to my story and it makes me uncomfortable. Someone said my story made it to TikTok, like what the F. I hope I didn't make a mistake by sharing it, because the last thing I want is for someone to figure out who I am. I thought by sharing it on Reddit that they never use I'd be safe, but I don't know what will happen if it goes out to other platforms. Since they don't use English as much, I hope it won't reach them, and if it does, they won't know what it is about. I want to thank you all again for your support. Honestly, you seem like a great community. I won't add anything else to my post again. I will try to answer as many comments as I can. If I don't, I'm sorry. I guess since a lot of you asked this of me, I will update once everything goes through. So maybe in a year or earlier. I hope I won't forget about this post and the love you showed me. Until then, bye and take care of yourselves. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, make sure like, comment, share, and subscribe the channel our posts.